Night Stalkers. It was the kind of night that made people want to stay indoors. Dark, cloudy, and eerily silent, creating a rather eerie atmosphere. The stars were hidden from view, blocked by the thick clouds that relentlessly moved above the city. The soft breeze carried an ominous chill, and a sense of dread hung in the air, like a thick fog. Most of the city's inhabitants had already turned in for the night, but one man was still lingering in the streets. His name was James, a cold and calculating individual, who was determined to make a name for himself in the criminal underworld. Little did James know, the city had its own secrets, one of which was the existence of supernatural beings that lurk in the shadows. These creatures, known as Night Stalkers, have the ability to sense fear and thirst for power. It was said that they could manipulate reality and even kill with nothing more than a glance. James had no idea of their existence, so he continued on his way, unaware that his past had caught up to him and that the creatures were now lurking in the shadows, watching his every move. The night seemed to last forever, the darkness following James wherever he went. Every so often he heard a loud screech, followed by an eerie laughter, but he shrugged it off as nothing more than his imagination. Soon enough, James reached his destination, a secluded alleyway at the edge of the city. He had heard from a colleague that something special was going down there and he wanted in on the action. As he ventured further into the alley, the darkness seemed to become thicker and thicker. He could feel cold eyes bore into him from the shadows and an oppressive presence that he couldn't explain. Suddenly, he was attacked from behind. He spun around to see a group of Night Stalkers standing there, their eyes glowing with a sinister red light. He was paralyzed with fear and unable to move as they slowly advanced towards him. He realized too late that they weren't after his wallet or his possessions. They were coming for his soul. The creatures encircled him, and he felt a glacial chill run through his veins as they whispered words of power in an ancient language. He felt his body slowly start to freeze, like the air around him, until he was nothing more than a frozen statue. The Night Stalkers cackled, satisfied that they had trapped James in a living death. They slowly melted into the shadows, their wicked laughter echoing in the stillness. James was gone and nothing remained in his place except for a frozen statue, a reminder to all that Night Stalkers are real and should never be taken lightly.